Welcome to Right Talk with Mike Lee. I'm honored and blessed to have on my show with me today one person whom I know and one person whom I don't know. The guy in the end with the glass on, I don't know him. What's your name? Tell my audience who you are.
All right, my name is Eric Matthews.
Eric Matthews?
Yes, sir.
That's my wife's maiden name.
We might be related.
Don't be trying to be my cousin. My sister had eight kids. Before my mother passed away, we counted up grandkids, great-grandkids, over 100. I don't need another one. It is what it is, as they say. My other guest her name is Arquetta Gentry, affectionately known as G.
G, all day, every day.
Known to me as Pimp G. She bowed up.
Just a little bit.
Showing me up to date. Let me take my glass off. Y'all know I'm still the Republican in the Revolution. Mm-hmm. Where you from, man?
I'm from Fresno, California.
Fresno, California?
Yes, sir.
What you doing here in Austin?
Oh, man, I had to move, come to Texas, get away, start fresh.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Oh, California? Oh, land of the communists?
Yeah.
Gays rule, huh?
Nah.
Okay. Let's see, G, you recruited him because I was supposed to have a Kai on with you.
You were?
And I'm really glad that you could come because while I've been known to entertain one, I prefer to have a show with two guests for some reason. That just seems to work best for me. I guess the more I have to work with them, hopefully the better job I can do. There are a couple things on my show that I really believe in. I believe in right talk. I believe in right talk, which has to be true. Mm-hmm. And like I told you guys before we started, only had two rules: no lying, no cussing. Other than that, have at it. But and then we're kidding about what are we going to talk about. I want to talk about you guys. I love to talk politics myself. Mm-hmm. I love to talk about my Republican friends who've been sleeping on the job for about 50 years and been getting pimped and played like punks. But hey, that's where it goes sometimes. Mm-hmm. Now I know, G, you are a Job Corps graduate, so to speak.
Oh yeah.
Tell us all about that.
Job Corps.
How'd you end up there? Where you from?
First off, I'm from San Antonio.
San Antonio?
Yeah, born and raised northeast side of San Antonio, Glen, Texas, more specifically. And I lived a intriguing life.
Oh,
yeah, I was in the street pharmacy business.
Oh, you was dealing.
I was dealing a lot.
You were a street doctor?
I'm more of a home doctor.
It's more than 10 years ago, right? I want to make sure statute of limitations.
It's more
passed.
than 10 years ago.
Nobody could come on the set and pick you up.
Nobody's gonna
like
find. Yeah, I've been in the clear for a while.
Okay.
So I was trying to get away from that.
Well, for a while I worked as a substitute teacher in Houston Independent School District. And I worked mostly in alternative schools that were for like bad kids. I spent most of my time working at what they call the Contemporary Learning Center. It was a school for kids that got kicked out of their own school.
Right.
It was CLC, Contemporary Learning Center. But among teachers, privately and secretly, it's called the Criminal's Last Chance.
Mm.
Wow.
I had students come to class high, come to class before they go to court, after they go to court, things like that. This one little guy, give you an idea what kind of school this was. It's a middle school. There's one little guy, he was a pretty good student. and they have gym class. They have a track that they walk around. He's walking around the track smoking weed. Now, what's wrong with that, Mr. Think about that. You're in gym class, walking
Exercise.
around the track smoking weed.
It's good exercise.
You know, and you do it in the hallway. You go by the men's bathroom. Sometimes you have to smell the marijuana coming out of the restroom. Things like that.
Right.
And then a lot of those kids. There's one kid I knew in Jarrell Maxey. I first met him at Peterson Elementary School. He's like 8 years old. He already sagged and got locks and stuff. I said, well, he ended up at CLC. I think he made the Job Corps. And Job Corps, at least in education circles, was like, a lot of times when they think of Job Corps, they think bad kids.
Right.
And you weren't a bad kid, were you?
No, I just made some bad decisions.
Oh, yeah?
I made some bad decisions, but I was trying to fix my life.
Oh, okay.
So I went to Job Corps because traditional school was not, it wasn't a good setting for me. I wasn't able to be as successful as I wanted to be because traditional school just wasn't for me. I can't sit in a seat all day and be taught by someone that can't reach me.
Okay.
You know, does that make sense?
Yeah.
The same language wasn't being spoken. I mean, we both spoke English, but there was no connection. So I went to Job Corps, and I studied computer service technician. And then I graduated and certified with my A+.
But you work there now, right?
I do.
And you also go to Houston-Tillotson, right?
I do.
And you and I have been trying to, for several months, we've been trying to round up enough people to start a Republican club over there.
True.
I've got a sponsor lined up, Dr. Anajinu. They call him Dr. Paul because I think Dr. Anajinu is from Nigeria. He has a name about this long.
Yeah.
And they just call him Dr. Paul because I think it's easier for them. Anajinu is kind of long. But we haven't been successful just yet.
Right.
Honestly, between you and I, and what's your name again?
Eric. Sorry.
And Eric, why do you think that is? Because we've had a hard time recruiting people. And all I'm trying to do is get them to, I'm not trying to necessarily get people to be a Republican. I'm trying to get people to just think another way. Just think of an alternative. Because I feel that my people, meaning black people, are not in the best position that they could be in. And they've been voting 88 to 97% Democrat for years. They have nothing to show. And it's kind of like when President Trump was running as a candidate, he said, "What you got to lose?" And they got mad at him, called him a racist because he said, "What you got to lose?" I say, "What you got to lose? What's it gonna do to me? Beat me up? I'll be here every Monday if you want to beat me up." Just want you to know, I get there about 5:30, 6 o'clock. If you want to do it, we can do it anytime. But I just think that in the game of politics, Richard Franklin, I learned this from Richard Franklin, probably Rob Muhammad. They say in politics you have permanent friends. You don't have permanent friends or permanent enemies. You have permanent interests. You have things that help.
Right.
And if 50 years of failure is not enough proof for you,
And what is?
you ought to think about something, at least think about something else.
Right.
When I let people know that I work as Director of Outreach and Engagement for the Republican Party, y'all almost want to look at me like I got a tail, man. Like they want to fight, but they hadn't fought me yet. I wish they would. But it hasn't happened yet, but I anticipate it. And it's as though you're doing something wrong. You're doing something out of the normal. My friend I went to college with, Steve Newkirk, says, "You're going against the norm." And so what? The norm, if I was going with the norm, I'd have been in prison somewhere by now.
Right.
True.
So norm is relative. You know, what's normal, what's average, or what's usual, that's not, I wasn't raised to be average. And my brother, whom I love dearly, Keevan, he says about me and my hat and my sunglasses, "Well, you ain't gonna fit in." I'm not trying to fit in.
Right.
I'm not trying to fit in. I'm trying to be me. And that may work for some people, may not work for other people, but that's just me. Well, how you feel about that kind of thing?
I mean, I get it. I mean, as a younger society person as myself, you know, growing up, you hear, you know, oh, you got to be Democrat, you got to be Republican. You know, some people, I feel like some of the youth now, they just don't care. Like, because I feel like when I even talking to them, they just, you know, well, they promised this and then it never happens. Or, you know, from whatever party. So some of them just, like, you know, just say, you know what, I don't even care about it. Whoever is going to win is going to just mess it up even more. That's just what I hear, and then, you know, just for my younger youth.
Just apathy.
Yeah. So, I mean.
I think people are scared of it. I think the reason why we don't have the program off the ground yet, because we could, but the people that we introduce it to, or the people that are there, lack the education and lack the knowledge to try something different, to be open to new ideas. If something's not working, then you should try something else.
But it's a liberal arts school. It's just what it says.
Right.
And I went to a liberal arts college, actually, a small, predominantly white college in Central Ohio, Denison University. And they sort of encouraged you to try something new.
Right.
When I went there, we had required courses that everyone hated. Out of political science, sociology, and economics, you had to take 2. Out of philosophy and religion, you had to take 1. You had to take a foreign language different than what you took in high school. The lowest level math course they offered was calculus. So you had calculus or statistics, take your pick your poison. But it encouraged you to look at things
Through a different perspective.
Now, when I was there, it was pretty turbulent in the 70s. Guys were going out taking down flags and all this kind of stuff, protesting, complaining, doing the thing that I think black people do best, unfortunately, which is complain, march, protest, and forgive, and be suckers for somebody liking them. I just feel that very strongly that. In the words of Brian Gangs, who was a guest on my show about three or 4 weeks ago, it's as though we as a people are brainwashed and wired to be Democrats. And when you don't fall in line like a sheep, people look at you like something's wrong with you. Now, I grew up, the environment I grew up in was mostly black. I'm from Lincoln Heights. When I was growing up, it was 16,000 black people, pretty much. I think there's one white family lived in Lincoln Heights, George Liggins, and their family moved to Woodline. But it was all black people. And the school district was black, of course. And the superintendent was my PB basketball coach. The school motto was, seek not to equal, but to excel. The fight was not for us to be equal. The fight for us, I believe, was for us to be the best that we can be. I think the goal was to get us to seek to be excellent. And you fall where you fall. And that's not to say racism doesn't exist. It exists, it's real, so what? But that's a given. I don't know how much you remember from mathematics and geometry, but when you have a theorem in geometry, there's certain things that are given. Those are things this is what the fact is.
It's a variable that don't change.
Right. And so you know that. And so in my view, that should push you, that should motivate you to try harder, not to sit back and cry and complain. Okay, I want to do that. Okay, I got this in front of me, I got that in front of me, I got to overcome this, I got to overcome that. It's like, to me, at least you know. And if you want to be mad at somebody, be mad at God for letting this thing exist. That's the way I see it. I just don't know what and I'm one of my old friends who's also a client of mine, Margie Malone. She'll probably watch this show. She had mentioned to me last week. She's, by the way, she refuses to pay me $100 for the bet on the presidential race. I bet. Marjorie, I know you don't watch me. I don't care. When Trump was coming down the escalator, she was like, ah. I said, I bet you $100 he wins. And now, she don't want to pay. She said she'd pay me $100 for something, for doing something, but she won't pay me for that, even though I won. And I love her, and she loves me. But I won the bet. But she thought that Trump was a joke. I tell the people all the time, like Red Fox say, don't laugh, the Indians lost. Now somebody will get mad at me for that, and I don't care. But, my point is, we as a people and the black community needs to start thinking about perhaps looking at things another way. We're in Austin, which is supposed to be one of the most liberal cities in the United States, right? Mm-hmm. Fastest growing, right? Mm-hmm. With a shrinking black population, with a black population that has to go to Pflugerville to find affordable housing.
This is true.
This is, I'm supposed to be on a Trailer Park Justice show today, where we're talking about gentrification, which in my view is just simply 21st century segregation. And it reminds me of my law school professor, Charlie Morris. He said we were studying civil rights and things like that. He said, what was illegal was separate schools, two different school systems, one for black people, one for white people. He said, he asked a question one day in class, I'll never forget it. He says, what if, because of living patterns, things become resegregated? Is that illegal? And that's kind of what we have here. So you moved here from Fresno? Tell us about Fresno, man. Besides you had to escape.
I'm born and raised in Fresno, and then I moved from Fresno to Sacramento, California.
Did they look at you strange when you said you was moving to Texas?
No. I mean, my grandma, she was a little worried because she was, she used to be like, hey, son, don't be speeding out there. It might get you. She used to tell us that, me and my brothers and them, she was kind of nervous because we was far away from home. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it was different. Coming to Texas is definitely different because in California, all you hear is about Texas or the South in general. The cost of living is better than California, which it is. I mean, so when we moved here, me and my brothers, it was just like something new for us because we weren't used to it. Like you guys take politics to a whole different level out here than in California where we are raised.
How you like Austin?
Austin, I came to Austin a few times, and so far I like Austin. Austin is pretty nice. I get to go out and see different things that I haven't seen before. Mm-hmm. So and then just like the hospitality here, and they treat you well.
Yes, we do.
I'm not touching that one.
So, yeah.
I know when I first moved to Texas in 1974, wonder if that was before some of you were born, but anyway.
Definitely before
I first moved here. No, when I first moved here in 74, people back in Ohio where I'm from, they thought I was crazy. Man, you going to Texas? Man, there white people down here. You got white people up here.
This is true.
Yeah, of course.
I don't think, you have to understand, I left for college that had 2,000 students, 40 black students, having them talking like this, trying to talk like they're,
Yeah.
the ones that change their
Be
voice.
who you are. Be who you
Right.
are. Be who you are.
They've been trying to be something else. But and then I go to law school. I got 750 students, about 5 of us black. I tell you what I'm gonna tell you what I thought about. This is what I thought about it. Lorenzo Brown and I, one of the other black students, and I started a Black American Law Student Association chapter. Mm-hmm. I don't care. We have stuff we need to do.
Right.
It has nothing to do with who's around us, who likes us, and all this stuff. We just got stuff we need to do. And I wish there was some way that do something attitude could be translated or transferred to younger black people.
Well, it's about the programs. It's about first getting on their level and talking a language they understand.
Exactly.
Once you can talk the language that they can understand, then you can relay the message. You have to teach them about it first, but it has to be the word they speak. That's what it's all about, especially like from my experience in working with youth. You can't reach anybody if you're talking a different language. So we have to make ourselves believe we are them. They have to believe we are them.
Now, when you were at Job Corps, you were one of the so-called student leaders, as they call them?
It's not so called. I was
Is
the
that-
leader.
oh,
I was the
oh,
leader.
you- oh, you-
I was the
you-
leader.
you ran it?
I ran the whole entire center when I was a student. That's right.
Okay.
Sometimes I even had to run the staff a little bit.
Right.
I'll be here on Monday if you want to find me. I mean that's how you do it. I mean Job Corps was a place if you wanted to become someone successful, and I wanted it bad. I wanted it bad. There was people that were in my life as far as staff that were there that were mentoring me, and they pushed me in ways that I never thought I could be pushed. I excelled in different areas of learning that I didn't know that I could excel in. They made that available. They helped me understand. They spoke a language I spoke. And that's why I became who I became. That's why I'm.
Even though you became the boss of them sometimes.
That's right. I love you guys still,
Who
though.
are some of those people? You can call their names. They can't sue us.
They can't sue us.
No.
Okay. Well, one, she's right in the other room. Mama Matthews, number one, and just a brief synopsis of how we met because I felt like this is like super important.
What's that?
When I got hired to do the job as a student leader in the community that I was,
Who picked you?
Miss Henry did.
Miss Henry?
Miss Hope Henry.
Hope Henry?
Miss Hope Henry.
What made her do that?
Because I was the bomb.com. I had this presence about me. No. I mean, because I can't tell you why she chose me. I just know how I perform.
How did you
You know,
perform?
like an adult. I was mature. I handled my business. I can go anywhere, talk to anybody, and we can accomplish something as a team. Like, that's something that I believe in. You know, if we got a task to do, we're going to do it, but you're going to do your part, you're going to do your part, I'm going to do my part, and then we're going to come together collectively to accomplish this together, even if you didn't want to do it.
Is that something that you transferred forward or translated from your life as a before Job Corps?
I think the characteristics were instilled, however, they were shaped and molded to be used in a more positive light. You know, because like I said, my decisions weren't great.
Because you were a street vendor at one point.
Right. I mean, but a lot goes into that, and that's the hard working, that's the organizing, I mean, everything that you use for that, I still use today. I just use it in a more legal and positive way.
Let's see. You're in the adult degree program at Houston-Tillis?
At Houston-Tillis.
How was that? I had some representatives of Houston-Tillis on my show a couple of months ago.
Right.
And I thought Wayne, you know Wayne? What's Wayne's last name? Wayne Knox.
I don't know Wayne Knox.
You don't know Wayne?
No.
He's the president's right hand, so to speak.
Dr. Colette's?
Yeah, he works very closely with Dr.
Okay.
Collette. As a matter of fact, Dr. Collette,
I've probably seen him
as
a couple times.
as I understand, brought him with her from Central State Wilberforce, wherever it was before, where she was before she came.
Right.
Cincinnati guy.
Right.
Cincinnati kid.
Ohio's all over Texas these days. HT is a HB. If you would have asked me 5 years ago what college I planned on attending, I probably would have told you UT or Texas State. I wouldn't have definitely been able to see myself at HT. 5 years ago, I didn't even know what an HB was. But my time, I'm going on 2 years, and the entire time has been filled with fun and joy and acceptance and appreciation and socializing with people that, this is the most black people I've ever seen. I'm just being honest. And it's opening up doors and perspectives that I never knew. I'm learning about my culture from a perspective that this is where we came from. This is who we are. This is how we happened. Because I wasn't getting taught that in San Antonio.
You know what happened when I learned in Austin that I didn't know before I came here? I didn't know Houston Tilson was here. And after living here for a while, it took a while before I was made aware that Houston Tilson was here before UT was.
It was the first college in Austin. And it was 2 colleges at first. But yeah, it was the first one.
It grew out of what, 2 churches?
2 different church colleges. So it was Houston College and Tilson something.
Mm-hmm.
And they merged it together not too long, well, quite a while ago, but therefore it became Houston Tilson.
You don't go there yet, is it? It's what I heard. It's what I heard.
Yeah.
What's going on?
And I'm just getting back into it. You know, I actually left. I went to school in Texas College out there in Tyler. And that was just like a church type of school, HBCU actually. It's very small, and when I went there, like everything that she's saying, like I experienced there. You know, it was just, I've never been to an all-black college, never seen that many black folks together.
I'm from San Antonio, man. I know the feeling.
Ever. Like, and my one of my teachers, my teachers and my football coach, that's who encouraged me to get more out of it, more knowledge, more understanding about how the program is ran, and then more knowledge about the history of it. Of course, one of my teachers, he was a Q, Dr. Stanson. So just talking to him and just understanding, like, there's more to it. It's more to it. It's more knowledge to it if you really you dig deep into it, and you know you'll have understanding to a lot of things. But as G's mentioned, like I'm definitely looking into it. She's definitely egging me on.
I'm trying to get him there. He's got to come to HT.
She's egging me on, so I'm definitely gonna look into it and just and get my understanding of it, and then actually try to
originally, my original plan for the show was to have a guy named Akai on,
Right.
but he couldn't make it. And I was wondering, how'd you fish it? Where'd you get him from, G?
Got it from Job Corps.
We just say, bring somebody else.
Oh, him?
Yeah.
So, Eric is my coworker.
He's your coworker?
He is. He is a phenomenal dude. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. The first time I met him, I didn't even meet him because he was being trained by somebody else.
She was eating.
So I was eating breakfast, and I was trying to handle my business before I had to work. And he slid through the classroom all suave, you know.
Is this at Houston Tilson classroom?
No, this is at Job Corps.
Oh.
So he works in my department now.
Oh, he works in your department?
Yeah. And, man, he's cooler than a fan. And ever since we, like, really kicked it off.
He's cooler than the other side of the pillow?
Yeah. Yeah, little. Yeah. He ain't got the sun on that side.
I'm already tanned enough.
But yeah, I mean, we pretty much hit it off, and then we see the same. We talk the same. We can reach the students the same. So when we see students having a hard time with somebody, he's not afraid to dive in and get dirty at all. Like, it doesn't matter who's around. For the sake of the child, for the sake of the student, like, we're there. We're proactive, and I like that. So, like, I already know it's like how to swoop them up.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Got to stick together.
Yes.
So you swooped on for the show today, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I thought I was coming to watch. I thought I was coming to watch us and be supportive.
Is that the last she told you?
Just come watch. That's why I thought I was coming to watch us be supportive. I try to do that a lot. Especially when we have little communities like this is trying to build and expand. I'm very supportive of all of it.
Well, one of the things that my producer and I try to do is to use this show as a method and means of communicating with those people in our community that we don't may not ordinarily get to see.
Right.
And we like to expose them to different ideas and perspectives that might not otherwise be portrayed. Because sometimes people listen to us, sometimes they don't.
Right.
Sometimes they care about what we say, sometimes they don't. But we should always care. At least I believe we should. And I believe that exchange between, I think there are generations between, I think both of you guys might have been born before 74.
Way.
Don't say it like that. Say it like that.
Quite a few more years.
Gotta hit them 80s.
All the way down. I mean, I don't know. A lot of people, they lack the ability to acquire knowledge, and they lack the ability to take initiative and go research something. And they're quick to make assumptions, they're quick to pass judgment, they're quick to make an opinion without any information supporting their ideas.
Well, it's to me, one of the things that seems amazing to me is the lack of questioning.
That
Yeah,
too.
That too. That's definitely.
That too.
Definitely.
You know, it's easy to follow,
Right.
but it's quite another to just, it's nothing wrong with following, but at least know what you're following.
Right.
And one of the things that's kind of important to me is to be kind of issue-oriented. I look at things like abortion and things like that. And to me, it's important to look at the effect of things. Look at what's happening
Right.
and what's happened. But how do you guys feel about this kneeling business?
I'm a sports guy.
You a sports guy?
I love sports. I mean, for me, I understand the method behind it. I mean, I don't feel like it's disrespectful at all. I feel like it's something you're standing for, something you're behind, 100%. And everybody has their different agendas to it. And I think, just far as like, if I was still playing football, that would be something that I would participate in, because everybody should have a freedom of speech for what they're doing. As far as like taking a knee, standing, I mean, as long as I feel like you're not disrespecting the military within itself or the flag within itself, then I'll 100% support that.
Now I put this on Facebook, Eric. My thing is, I think it's a bunch of bull when people say, "Thank you for your service," but piss on the flag that you serve under. That's bull. I know bull when I hear it. It doesn't make sense. Thank you, Mr. Serviceman, for what you do with that flag that you're serving under. To hell with that. It's just some inconsistency there.
So by them taking a kneel, they're pissing on the flag?
When they need, to me, it's whatever you say, "Thank you, Mr. Serviceman," and then you take a knee, you might what you say thank you for it. I just when the serviceman, take a knee on him. Be consistent. Be for real.
Right.
Be for real. Don't take your knee and then say thank you for your service. If I were a serviceman, I'd tell you stick it up your behind.
Right. So we stand for the military, is what you're saying.
They're not American.
That's what you say. That's not me.
Right.
That they say.
Right.
Well,
Well, I'm just trying to understand, because, like, for me, I feel like everybody's making a big deal about it anyway, and it's just giving people something to talk about.
Yeah.
There was nothing set in stone that says you have to kneel, you have to stand, you have to sit, you have to say goodbye, you have to wave, you have to salute. It doesn't say any of that. So I think what people are making it into, they're making it into something that is being overblown and overrated. The military should understand. They are the military. You are who fights for this country. And if kneeling is affecting you and how you do your job, it might be time for a new job.
right.
That's how I feel about it. Because
Right.
people are entitled to express how they interpret what America is, or what they feel America is, or what the flag stands for, or how they express how they feel about the flag or feel about the country.
But you know what I don't understand is how can you be mad about something that happened 400 years ago? You see, my thing is, I don't remember my mama and daddy, who were sharecroppers, complaining about stuff. I never heard complain one time about white people. And they were one step removed from slavery. If anybody had the right to complain, it's them.
Right.
But they were busy raising us and emphasizing to us more than anything else, to do your darn schoolwork. Education was the key. And now it's almost like education is an afterthought to me. And that's bothersome to me. That's bothersome to me because if we all agree that education is the key, then what the heck is all this other stuff? Let's focus on. My thing is, let's focus on that.
Right.
Not focus on bathrooms and stuff like that. Let's train our minds. Let's feed our minds.
I feel like there is a different time zone from when they've been told to just educate and educate and not worry about it. Now in this time zone, it's educate, and then now they're looking deeper into it, and now they're starting to voice about it. Not saying that they didn't back then as much, but now everybody wants to be heard. So the people that is educated, that does have a degree behind themselves, they go deeper into it and try to get a different understanding. I'm just say Kaepernick for instance, because he started this move. He is well educated. He has a background that's crazy and that is growing up, and he brought it to the lead after understanding, like, okay, there's more behind this flag and my beliefs to why I'm standing and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So, and just like along with other NFL or NBA stars, whoever, even if they're doing it in high school now, in junior high football. So kids are being educated, they're just going deeper into it to get their own personal beliefs out of it, I think, nowadays.
Let me chime in real quick. So, like, I kind of agree with what you're saying, but then I kind of see it a different way. So you got Kaepernick who brought it out, right? So this whole ordeal with the standing together, the kneeling, the linking up, everything that they do, it's a form of expression for the oppression, right? For the oppressed. And the reason why this all kicked off is because of all the minorities that are still being treated like minorities, that are not treated as unequal or having the same equality as the white race. When certain instances happen, and there is no justice for those people, that's where this kneeling is coming from, right? So people, they understand that you are my brother, you are my brother. You are white and you are Asian. So we will kneel together so that the world sees it.
And then the world sees it, and then you kneel, and then what? And when you get up off your knees, then what?
But then that's what I'm saying. Like, they're still linked. The reason why they're doing it in the NFL or the NBA or baseball or wherever they're doing it is because they're using the professional sports as like a levy into the world. Because they're publicized, because they're on national television, it's like kind of like the grapevine. The word gets spread quicker than if it was just me and you in the local community doing activist work, or if that's how they see it.
I understand that, but my thing is, why don't you take some of those millions and endow a chair to Houston Tillerson, endow a chair
And
to
I'm
Morehouse?
completely 100% behind that.
You know, in a sense, put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
Don't put your knee down. Do something.
That is right.
Do
Yes.
something. Really rich something. Establish a Martin Luther King scholarship fund somewhere.
Right.
At Morehouse. Endow a chair for $2 million.
Right.
I mean, really, you don't have to make a lot of noise. It's like, if you want to kill a man, if you really want to kill him, you really want to get close to him, make sure you don't miss. And if you constantly broadcasting, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you, he can get ready for you. If you shut your darn mouth and just get close to him and just go ahead and kill him, you got your job done.
Yeah.
Without all the noise.
Right.
There's a quiet way to take care of business.
But doing it quietly would the message get across faster?
If your enemy ends up dead, then
I said the job got done pretty quick.
Don't get hung up in the message.
Yeah.
Get hung up in the job.
That's all I think it is. I mean, I mean, I understand why doing it quietly and doing it more discreetly.
And what I'm saying, I'm not saying don't take your knee. I'm just saying take care of business otherwise too.
Right.
You know, and the other part the other trouble I have with it is 75% of the guys in the NFL are black. I bet you 75% of them don't have black advisors.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
But why don't they have
So,
black
no.
advisors?
So the very system that you're protesting against, you're feeding into.
Right.
You just give me a break.
Right.
Give me a break. You know, I know of one. There's one guy I know who had a black agent. That's my late friend, Greg Stemmer. He should have showed on the video, but Andrew Benson was his agent. Andrew represented Gagey, J.C., Vernon Perry. I think there's another black agent that's pretty well known. His name is Eugene something. Parker, I believe. But my thing is there are things they can do that I think would help the black community as much, if not more,
Right.
than taking a knee.
I think there is a lot of different athletes, professional athletes, that are active in creating a more awareness around communities and different societies and whatnot. But a lot of them are not.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of them are not.
It's a kind of like a bandwagon thing to me.
It's a lot like the bandwagon. But there are, I don't want to take away from the people that are doing something, that are active. Because a lot of people are. A lot of people find it, you know, pretty important and prioritized to make sure that they're doing certain different activities or programs, or whether it's donating to charity and whatnot, about these different programs about, you know, the oppressed and whatnot and what's going on. They're active. But like I said, a lot of them aren't.
Right. I was moving right along. Tell us about you went to Job Corps. How long were you in there?
A year and some change. And
Well, how did you come to work there? Because I think after you've been a student there, you have to wait a year or something before you can get a job there, right?
I told you I was the bomb.com, right? I already mentioned that, right?
Yeah.
I already mentioned that. I mean,
So you exempted yourself from the rule.
I mean, no, I had all the staff exempt me. They were able to use my experience in lieu and give me a job. There's a lady, my boss, Miss Linda Kindred.
Great woman.
Wonderful woman.
Did you know those people? Did you know my wife?
No, I actually did.
Oh, yeah?
I heard the name.
You heard
Yeah.
the name?
I heard the name a lot, so, and I was like, well, we might be related, but I kept telling him I was the only original Matthews. I did tell him that.
Well, I heard her when she was about 11. I was about 14. She was walking down the street. But it took me, she was 11, so I was 14.
Get it right now.
Get it right.
Get it right now.
Way back. And then, but I knew, I kind of knew who she was, but had never really met her. And my buddies knew her real good. She was real tight with all of my buddies. And she said my buddies kept her with me because they was kind of bad, not me.
And the ones that say it.
No. Hey, something, I'm not a bad boy. I just like to do some of the things the bad folks do.
All
Yeah.
right, all
The
right.
bad folks have some fun.
I wouldn't know.
Some of the stuff they did, I punted. I wasn't there for. You know, I was accused of being there.
Yeah.
But
Guilty by
it took
association.
us, I think I first met my wife, really, 30-something years ago. It took us 30 years kind of, we were out of touch for a long time, then we got back in touch. So, but that's how that happened. So I was wondering, but you're Matthews, huh?
Yes,
From where?
sir.
Where your family originate from?
From Fresno, and then we got a lot of them in Texas. We got a lot of them in Dallas, the Dallas area.
What about before that? Where your grandma was from? Great grandma.
My great grandma, she's from, actually, I think she's from Houston, born and raised in Houston,
Houston?
and then moved to California.
They moved to Houston from Louisiana or something?
Yeah, somewhere from that area.
Usually migration is just cross.
So somewhere from that area, because my grandma, she definitely has that accent still to this
See,
day.
because people, I used to work in the DA's office in Beaumont, so I lived in Jefferson County, Texas for a while. But they left Louisiana or South Carolina, so Louisiana, then some of them stopped in Houston, and the ones that didn't stop in Houston went all the way to California usually. Some stopped in Beaumont, some stopped in Houston. The ones that didn't stop in Houston went all the way to California. I think a few of them may have stopped in El Paso or something. But
If I had my mom here, she'd be able to tell you everything. She know everything. She like, Eric, you got cousins here, aunties there, uncles there.
Yeah, the
I
whole
never
family
seen or ever talked to. No, I do got.
you know, it was like a trail, So you all been in San Antonio the whole time? You grew up in San Antonio?
I did.
Your family from there?
No.
Where your family from?
My mom is from Chicago. My grandma is from Mississippi.
There you go.
I know, that's wild. And my grandpa was a Marine. And they met I want to say they met in Tennessee. I know that's awkward.
So you all over.
They're all over. I've been in San Antonio my whole life. Yeah, so crazy little family tree there. My grandma had 13 brothers and sisters.
13?
13. And they're all crazy.
Wow.
They all crazy?
They all crazy.
Oh wow.
They're all crazy. They're all good people though. Yeah, San Antonio.
Sounds like my cousin. I have a cousin back in Cincinnati who had, to the best of my knowledge, at least 22 children.
Wow. 22.
It's more than I can handle. Way more than I can handle.
How many jobs does he have?
Huh?
How many jobs does he
No,
have?
he's always been in business for himself.
Okay.
His father, who was my mother's first cousin, and he's always taking care of all the children.
That's a lot of kids, man.
Somehow he's a legend in my mind.
I mean, we're in a different time, man. Now, you got 22 kids nowadays. You need about 5, 6 jobs.
You might be in jail. you might be in jail.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
Yeah.
But what's the scene like? Since you say from the political scene, young people are mostly apathetic. One party's no better than the other. Except my mama told me to vote Democrat.
That's just the laziness. That's all it is I'm going to go with what somebody told me to do versus going out and looking for myself. Because if that was the case, you'd see all kinds of people voting different ways. I think another big thing that it has to do with is that they find one thing about one person that they like. And it's like, I have to go with this person because this is what they're pushing. They're big on women's rights, or they're huge on healthcare, or they're huge on the school system. It's that one thing that they find in one person that's either for or against, and they're like, that's my guy. Instead of looking at the whole picture. Because that one person could be doing one thing that you like and be doing 5 things that you don't like. Where they see that one thing that they don't like.
What's most important?
Yeah.
That's basically it.
The what?
What's most important?
What's most important?
Yeah. So I know, like for me, just growing up and hear about politics, I always used to think like the Republican Party was just the rich folks. This is me growing up. Like I never thought anything else or less of it. Like, okay, well, Democrats for poor black folks and Republicans just for the rich folks. That was my thinking growing up. Instead,
That was what it was instilled in you.
So until I actually, start, okay, looking at both sides, for me, it was just like, okay, you got to start learning for yourself. Like learning what's what, for me to just, once I became the age to vote, then that was something different for me.
Now, when I was 17, before you guys even thought about, I started studying politics myself. I was in high school. And at that time, To be conservative meant that you were for slow and gradual change. And to be liberal just meant you were for change and see what happens. And to me, in my mind was, I believe in looking before you leap, not leaping in, then, oh, what happened? And I do believe that when I leap, everything's going to be all right because I believe God watches over me because he knows I'm a fool. And they say that the Lord watches out for babies and fools. I figure I got double cover. I figure God looks down and says, this is a real crazy guy right here. But I just believe in political sense that you look before you leap. And because you look before you leap, to me, that made me think in a conservative frame of mind when I'm 17 years old. Because that made sense to me. And I guess the other thing that made me lean more to come out to be more conservative is when I graduated from college, I applied for financial aid. I'm from a family, let's see, my mom and daddy had, my big brother tells me my daddy went to the 6th grade, my mom went to the 6th grade. I graduated from college and I applied for financial aid, the Council on Legal Education Opportunities. I applied for this. If you got in the program, you got $1,000 a year for your to live on. I applied to that program and they put this in writing and I couldn't believe it. I can't believe it to this day. They said my GPA was too high and my law school admission test score was too high, so I didn't qualify for the program.
That's crazy.
And I said to myself, oh, you want more black lawyers? What kind of black lawyers do you want? You say, I don't qualify? Me? Broke as I am? It's okay if you be black. We don't want you to be too smart. I mean, that's what you're telling me.
Yeah.
If it's based on need, I was the neediest guy going. And it turns out when I did get some aid for law school. It's a long story, but I got it from the conservative group. I guess when I did get to law school, I found out that my GPA and my LSAT score was competitive with other people in my class, and so I'm of a mind that you don't have to give me a break. Just let me in. Just let me in. But now I know new guys who received aid from the Clio program, and most of them took the bar more than once and things like that. But at the law school when I went to SMU's law school, every black person that graduated from SMU law school had passed the bar the first time. So my thing is just, I guess I'm kind of like James Brown. I don't want nobody to give me nothing. Just open up the door, and I'll get it myself. Relax nothing for me. Just let me in. Go ahead and let me in. Just judge me based on me.
Yeah.
And what I do. Because ultimately it comes down to what you do. Not what you say, but what you do.
Right.
And I wish that people in the black community look at what's been done for them. And when I look at my conservative friends in the Republican Party, they're pretty rigid, but it seems to me that they treat you more, as an equal. They ain't give you no break. Make it. And that's okay with me. That may not be, but what's good for me is not necessarily good for everybody else.
Right.
I've got to wrap this thing up here. I got a couple of minutes. And I'd like to say some things about what's going on in the community. I think the Nation of Islam is having something pretty soon coming up. I know the next thing I have coming up is something on my next show will be on the election in Pflugerville. They're having a council election up there. I'm trying to get some of the candidates on the show to talk. But Eric, I hope you will consider coming back again, and G, I hope you will consider coming back again because I need for the audience to hear your story.
All right.
Not the pimp part.
I'll leave the pimp details out.
leave the hustling details out.
Yeah. Later day.